Welcome back, friend. You have found the quiet place again. Whatever the day demanded, the demand has ended. The door is closed, the lamp is low, and nothing out there can reach you here. Let the bed hold you. Feel your head sink into the pillow, your shoulders letting go of their long watch. Unclench your hands. Take one slow breath in and release it, unhurried, like wind moving through high grass at dusk. Tonight, I want to tell you a story about a man who slept peacefully in the most dangerous room in the world. A story about exile and kings and a den of lions, and the deep, unshakable calm of a man who knew who was watching over him. This is the story of Daniel. Long ago, the armies of Babylon came against Jerusalem, and the city fell. And among the captives carried away to that vast foreign empire were young men of noble family, and one of them was a boy named Daniel. Try to feel what he lost gently from the safety of your bed. His home, his city, his language, even his name, for the Babylonians renamed him Belteshazzar, though the old book, with quiet stubbornness, keeps calling him Daniel. Everything that told him who he was, taken in a single season. He was brought to the palace of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, to be trained for 3 years in the language and learning of the empire, one young exile among many, in the greatest city on earth, with its hanging gardens and its gates of blue and gold. And there, in his first small test, Daniel showed the shape of his whole life. The king's food and wine were rich and bound up with the king's idols, and Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself. So he asked politely for vegetables and water instead. Notice how quiet that is. No speech. No rebellion. Just a young man deciding, in his heart, where his line was and holding it with courtesy. And God gave him favor with the master of the household. And at the end of the days, Daniel and his 3 friends stood healthier and wiser than all the rest. That is the whole secret of this story, friend, told at the very start. Peace is not the absence of Babylon. Peace is knowing what your heart has settled before the pressure comes. Daniel settled it young and slept well in that city for the rest of a very long life. Years passed, and Daniel grew in wisdom, and the king came to trust him with hard things. One night Nebuchadnezzar dreamed a dream that troubled him deeply, and then could not remember it. He demanded of his wise men both the dream and its meaning, on pain of death. And none could do it, and the king's anger burned against them all, including Daniel, who had not even been asked. And what did Daniel do with the executioner's step in the corridor? He went to his house, and he and his 3 friends prayed, asking mercy from the God of heaven. And in a night vision, the secret was revealed to Daniel. He rose and blessed the God of heaven. He reveals the deep and secret things. He knows what is in the darkness, and the light dwells with him, and went in to the king calm as morning. There is a God in heaven, he told Nebuchadnezzar, that reveals secrets. And he told the king his dream, and its meaning, kingdoms rising and falling like seasons, and at the end, a kingdom that would never fall. And the king fell on his face, and Daniel was made great in Babylon. But mark where the peace came from, not from being clever, from knowing what is in the darkness, and knowing that someone else knows it better. Whatever is unknown in your life tonight, friend, is not unknown to the one who watches. You can put the riddle down. The answer is already held. The years rolled on in that story-crowded court, and one of those years brought the tale of the furnace. Let us walk through it slowly, for it belongs to Daniel's 3 friends, and to the same deep calm. King Nebuchadnezzar made an image of gold, 80 cubits high, and set it up in the plain of Dura. And at the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, and all kinds of music, every knee in the province bent to the ground before it. Every knee but 3, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, Daniel's 3 friends, stood upright in a kneeling world, quiet as 3 trees on a mown field. Word reached the king, and the king in his rage summoned them, and gave them one more chance, with the furnace roaring behind his words. And their answer is one of the great calm sentences of the whole old book. O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. Our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace. But if not, hear that, friend. But if not, we will not serve thy gods. But if not, their peace did not depend on the rescue. It rested on the one who was worth trusting either way. That is a deeper anchor than any outcome, and it is available to you tonight, whatever your own furnace is called. So the furnace was heated 7 times hotter than it was wont to be heated, and the 3 were bound in their coats and cast in. And then the king leapt to his feet, astonished, and said to his counselors, Did not we cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire? Lo, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt, and the form of the 4th is like the Son of God. For men, walking in the fire, unhurried as men in a garden. And when the 3 came out, not a hair of their heads was singed, neither had the smell of fire passed on them. The only things that burned were the ropes that had bound them. Sometimes, friend, that is what the fire is for. It takes nothing of you, and it takes the bindings. So Daniel's God, it was becoming known in Babylon, goes into the fire with his own. Hold that as your eyes grow heavy, not spared from the fire, accompanied in it. It is the better promise. It has no exceptions. Kings rose and fell. Nebuchadnezzar himself was humbled and restored, and learned at the last to bless the Most High, the proudest head in the world, bowing like grass. And he passed, as all kings pass, and lesser men sat on his throne. And then came the night of the writing on the wall. The young King Belshazzar made a great feast to 1,000 of his lords, and in his cups he called for the sacred vessels that had been carried out of the temple in Jerusalem, and drank from them, and praised the gods of gold and silver. And in the same hour came forth fingers of a man's hand, and wrote upon the plaster of the wall of the king's palace, over against the candlestick. And the king saw the part of the hand that wrote, and his knees smote one against another. None of his wise men could read the writing. And then the queen remembered, There is a man in thy kingdom, in whom is the spirit of the holy gods, Daniel, and the old prophet was brought in. He must have been past 80 then, and he stood before the trembling king, unbought and unafraid, and read the words no one else could read. Mean tekel upharsin. God hath numbered thy kingdom, and finished it. Thou art weighed in the balances, and art found wanting. And that very night the deed was done, quietly, the way vast things sometimes happen. The river diverted, the gates unbarred, and Babylon the Great fell without a battle while its lords slept off their feast. And Darius the Mede took the kingdom. Notice, friend, what did not change that night. Empires traded hands in the dark, and in the morning, an old man rose in his chamber and prayed toward Jerusalem at his open window, exactly as the evening before. Thrones are weather, this story keeps saying. The watcher is climate. Build your peace on the climate, not the weather. So Babylon fell to the Medes and Persians, and a new king, Darius, sat on the throne. And here is the astonishing thing. Through it all, new empire, new language, new court, Daniel remained. An old man now, past 80, he had served with such faithfulness that Darius set him over the whole kingdom, first of 3 presidents, above 120 princes. The exile boy had become the most trusted man in an empire that was not even the empire that had captured him. An excellent spirit was in him, says the old book. Faithful. No error or fault could be found in him. 60 years of quiet integrity in a foreign land under 4 kings. That was the house his peace was built on, brick by daily brick. But excellence draws envy. The princes and presidents, passed over for a foreigner, searched for some fault in Daniel to bring him down, and found none. And so they said among themselves the words that are, without meaning to be, the finest compliment in the whole old book. We shall not find any occasion against this Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the law of his God. His only weakness was his faithfulness, so they laid their trap out of it. They came flattering to King Darius. Establish a decree, O king, that whoever petitions any god or man for 30 days, save of you, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions. And the king, seeing only the honor of it, signed the writing, and by the law of the Medes and Persians, it could not be undone. Now listen to what Daniel did, because it is the heart of this whole story. When Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house. And his windows being open in his chamber toward Jerusalem, open, not shut, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day, and prayed and gave thanks before his God as he did aforetime. As he did aforetime, no panic and no performance either. He did not shut the windows and hide, and he did not fling them wider to make a point. He simply kept his life, the same 3 prayers at the same 3 hours by the same open window facing home. 80 years old, and the storm found him exactly where the calm had always found him, on his knees, giving thanks. Friend, if you carry one thing from tonight into your own storms, let it be this, as he did aforetime. Peace is a habit, built in the quiet years, that holds you when the loud ones come. The men found him praying, of course. That was the trap. And they came to the king, and the king's heart sank, for he loved Daniel. And he labored till the going down of the sun to deliver him, and could not. The law of the Medes and Persians stood. And at evening they brought Daniel to the mouth of the den. And the king, the most powerful man in the world, powerless, said to the old prophet a strange and wonderful thing. Your God, whom you serve continually, he will deliver you. Even Babylon's throne had learned the word continually. Then a stone was laid on the mouth of the den and sealed with the king's seal, and the night came down. And think of the walk to the den, slow and strange in the torchlight. The old man, going with unhurried steps between his guards, down stairways and along stone corridors, deeper into the earth. He had walked to worse rooms in his time, into the chamber of Nebuchadnezzar in his rage, in front of Belshazzar on the last night of an empire. 80 years of practice at one single skill, walking calmly into rooms because he never walked into them alone. That skill can be learned, friend. It is learned in the quiet years, 3 prayers at a time, by an open window. Now let the scene settle around you slowly as your eyes grow heavy. A stone-dark den, deep in the earth. Low shapes of lions in the shadows, amber eyes, slow breath. The distant ring of the guard's footsteps fading up the stair, and then no sound at all but breathing, the lions and the old man's evening out together in the dark, and an old man with a straight back, calm among them, in the dark. The old book does not tell us what happened in the den that night. Daniel himself tells us only one thing in the morning. My God has sent his angel and has shut the lions' mouths, and they have not hurt me. So picture it that way, the quiet of the text invites you to. An angel in the darkness of the den. The great cats settling, one by one, like house cats by a fire, muzzles sinking onto paws, slow lion breath filling the dark, steady as waves, and an old man, leaning back against a warm tawny flank, under the watch of heaven, asleep. The most dangerous room in the world, and the safest man in the empire was inside it. Because safety, this story says, was never about the room. It is about the company. The one who shut the lions' mouths was in the den, and the den became a bedchamber. Meanwhile, above ground, in the softest of ironies, it was the king who could not sleep. Darius passed the night fasting, and no instruments were brought before him, and his sleep went from him. The man on silk cushions tossed all night. The man among lions rested. Peace has never lived where we expect it to. And very early in the morning, the king rose and hurried to the den, and cried with a lamentable voice, Daniel, O Daniel, servant of the living God, is your God, whom you serve continually, able to deliver you from the lions? And up from the dark came the steady old voice, with its unbroken courtesy. O King, live forever. My God has sent his angel, and has shut the lions' mouths, and they have not hurt me. Forasmuch as before him innocency was found in me. Then the king was exceeding glad, and commanded that they take Daniel up out of the den. And no manner of hurt was found upon him, because he believed in his God. And Darius wrote to all peoples and nations, I make a decree, that in every dominion of my kingdom men tremble and fear before the God of Daniel. For he is the living God, and steadfast forever. His kingdom shall not be destroyed. He delivers and rescues, and he works signs and wonders in heaven and in earth, who has delivered Daniel from the power of the lions. So Daniel prospered in the reign of Darius, and in the reign of Cyrus the Persian. And in those late years the old prophet was given visions of far-off things, and long views of history, and through them all one refrain, spoken to him by shining messengers, again and again. O Daniel, greatly beloved, fear not. Peace be unto you. Be strong. Greatly beloved, that was heaven's name for the tired old exile. And the last words of his book are as gentle as a hand on the shoulder at bedtime. Go thou thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest. Thou shalt rest. After Jerusalem and Babylon, after 4 kings and a lion's den, after a whole long life of open windows, rest. That is the promise waiting at the end of every faithful road. Friend. And a portion of it is yours tonight, on account of nothing but the kindness of the one who watches. So let your body grow heavy now, heavy and safe, like an old man leaning against a sleeping lion. The den of this day is sealed behind you, and nothing in it was ever stronger than the company you keep. Breathe in slowly, and out more slowly still. In like the hush of the den after the angel came. Out, like lion breath in the dark, slow and warm and utterly unafraid. Before we say good night, let us walk back through the story one last time, softly, like a watchman making his last round through the palace, dimming the lamps. A boy carried far from home, who purposed in his heart, and held his line with courtesy. The peace that starts as a quiet decision. Turn that lamp down low. The dream no one could tell, and the young man who went home and prayed. He knows what is in the darkness, and the light dwells with him. Let that lamp glow a moment on the words, and soften. The fire that did not burn, and the 4th figure walking in the flames. The God who goes into the fire with his own. Dim that one gently, its light stays even so. The old man over an empire, faultless through 60 years and 4 kings. Faithful in the small things, brick by daily brick. Down goes that lamp. The trap, the decree, and the windows left open toward Jerusalem. 3 prayers at the same 3 hours as he did aforetime. Let that lamp burn a breath longer than the others. It is the working heart of the story. Now ease it down. The den, the stone, the seal, and the angel and the shut mouths, and the lions settling like house cats while the king tossed on his cushions above. The safest man in Babylon, asleep among lions. Let that picture dim into pure warmth. And the morning voice from the dark, O King, live forever, and the decree of wonder, and the last promise of all. Go thou thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest. Leave that lamp burning very low all night. It is the night light of this whole story. There, the palace is quiet now. The den is empty, its stone rolled away, its lions dreaming lion dreams with no anger in them. The watchman has finished his round. The wind moves over Babylon's high walls and away into the dark, going where it is sent. And you, friend, in your own bed with your own windows, whatever lions your mind has been pacing around tonight, their mouths are shut. Not by you. That was never your job. The same watch that held one old man in a den of stone holds the room you are lying in now. Your breathing is slow, slow as the den at midnight. Let it stay slow. Nothing is required of you. The decree of this night is mercy, and it cannot be altered. If thoughts still prowl at the edges, let them settle one by one, like the great cats, circling once, twice, then folding down into the shadows to sleep. Their mouths are shut too. They cannot hurt you here. The night is deep and kind. You are, tonight and always, greatly beloved. Fear not. Peace be unto you. Be strong by resting. Sleep now, friend, like Daniel among the lions, like a city at peace behind sealed gates, like an old faithful heart by an open window, home at last. Good night. Sleep deep. Go thou thy way till the morning, for thou shalt rest.